The Prague Coup.
When it all happened, I was no longer a young girl, but I still had the romanticism and the sense of adventure of the day bounty whose bright, preordained future had been hijacked by the war. Part actress, part spy. When the fighting finally ended, I had placed my talents in the service of London Films, the company owned by Sir Alexander Korda. Winter 1948, the coldest winter since the war. A Siberian front had buried Vienna under a shroud of ice. Sir Alex had tasked me with welcoming G. Upon his arrival from London, my job was to guide him through the Allied-occupied capital and assist him with his research in writing the film that he, Korda and Carol Reed were planning to film there.
London flight just got in. Miss.
Chi and I had met before at Shepperton Studios. I was a huge fan of his work and was overjoyed by my mission, but something was bothering me. In a cable sent from Brighton the previous Thursday, Chi had warned me of a delay and had asked me to send a telegraph to his wife. Arrived safely. Kisses, Graham. That was all it took to spark a young and romantic girl's imagination. As I waited on that freezing February night, I wondered what he might have done with his stolen weekend.
Sorry to have made you brave this blizzard, Miss Montagu.
Mr. Greene?
You told the press I was coming?
Not at all, sir.
Fast. For a fry's. Do you know him?
No. He enters a revolving door, you know. On the way back from Wien Schweckert, his silence filled the car. I didn't dare make a peep. He was fixated on the destruction around us. I knew he had survived the Blitz, which the happenstance of war had spared me. Maybe he was comparing London's wounds to those inflicted on the enemy. I had managed to book him a room at the Hotel Saka. No small fest in this city full of snobs in uniform. Is the room to your liking, sir? Graham, Ensign Montagu. We're to be stationed together. If I understood correctly, is the room to your liking, Graham?
It's a bit chilly, but I have just the thing.
His reference to my rank moved me deeply. He had taken it upon himself to inquire about my military past.
The pilgrim's friend.
We drank, forgetting about the officials waiting for him at Blaue Bar.
What's he doing in Vienna, Colonel? Since you're in the know.
Cinema, I hear. London Films is making a film here.
With a little luck, Miss Vivian Lee will be jazzing up our evenings in no time.
Have you read his books?
Confidential Agent, Orient Express, A Gun for Sale. Good thrillers, actually.
What he calls his diversions, but his serious novels are most praiseworthy. The Man Within, The Power and the Glory, and his latest, The Heart of the Matter, which is supposed to be excellent. There's no doubt he's our best Catholic author, much better than Moyak or Bernanos, if you ask me.
I only read westerns.
Graham, this is Colonel Beauclerk from the Information Service of the Allied Commission. He'll be a great help to US in our research. And of course Major Milligan here knows Vienna inside and out, right, Major?
A deceptive city, sir. You have to be on your toes.
Dudley Grabbett, British Council. If I may, sir, how can a writer of your stature apply his genius to something as trivial as cinema?
Money, mister.
Grabbett, I was hoping to convince you to come speak at our book club. The city of Mozart is dying from a lack of culture.
And a few tens of thousands of tons of our bombs. Right. Grab it.
Keep them common, Maya.
If there was one thing that could rival the quantity of explosives dropped on Vienna, it was our consumption of alcohol. The next day, in surprisingly good form after the night's libations, he wanted to visit a cemetery. I took him to Zentralfriedhof, the resting place of Beethoven and Salieri. Mozart's tomb is empty. When he died, they buried him in secret in the Old St. Mark's cemetery during a winter just as cold as this one. But when they wanted to bring him here, to give him a burial place worthy of his name, they couldn't find the body. Clearly, G attracted photographers. This one was an old acquaintance, a ghost from a secret period of my life. I recognized his team, too, Bud Boots and his merry men, tasked with my protection 5 years earlier in Zurich, and I was helping the Americans by debriefing a German vice consul involved in a plot against Hitler. What were they doing in Vienna? Alan Dulles, our chief, had returned to the US, where he was trying to transform the older OSS into a spanking new CIA.
How odd.
What?
The script that I sold to Corda opens with the story of an empty grave like Mozart's.
I had paid my last farewell to Harry a week ago, when his coffin was lowered into the frozen February ground, sulfur monoxide. It was with incredulity that I saw him pass by among the host of strangers in the Strand. What happens to Harry next?
That's precisely what I came here to find out. Hey.
But Boots, why would the Americans be interested in US?
For God's sake, Elizabeth, what are you talking about? The Oz. Are you sure?
I worked for them from 43 to 45 in Switzerland.
But why the Americans?
You tell me.
I haven't the slightest idea, unless David Selznick, who's buddied up with Corda for the film, has decided to keep an eye on his investments. I'll see you at dinner. I need to jot down a few notes about that excellent cemetery and its walking dead.
Long time no see, Miss Lizzie.
Bud Boots, what are you doing in Vienna?
I assume you're familiar with the term Cold War? Two superpowers divvied up the world, and now they're each restraining themselves from attacking the other so they can dominate it. Nicely put. Let's just say that I'm one of the Eskimos charged with making sure the temperature doesn't go up. Do you know why you're big shots here?
For a film.
Are you sure that's the only reason he came to Vienna?
Boots asked me if I was willing to keep an eye out, like back in the day. When I asked where his orders came from, he pointed to the ceiling of the Sosha Cafe. I doubt he meant it literally. I didn't tell G about the meeting. What was there to say?
I spoke to London about your William Bud Boots, a former spy and now a reporter for life, which would explain his interest in me, given how his boss, Henry Luce, is obsessed with me.
I refrained from commenting that life reporters are rarely escorted by hulking bodyguards like Leroy and Jones. At dinner, he asked me about my work for the OSS and sarcastically described his own activities as a spy during a war.
When I was posted in Freetown, I suggested creating a traveling brothel to glean information from officials of the Vichy regime. No one agreed. Then I joined M16 in London, ID number 59,200, Section 5, a good old elbows club that revolved around drinking and playing at war. We spent as much time making up stories to the enemy's benefit as we did rifling through its dirty laundry. In short, the writer's daily grind.
Mr. Greene, Baron Georg von Kurtz. Sulfur monoxide, sorry to interrupt this charming TTE. TTE. I had planned to pay you a visit at the Sacker, but since our paths fortuitously crossed here...
The Baron wasn't really sorry. A second later, he requested a chair. To the great pleasure of G, who was delighted to welcome a vestige of old Vienna to his table. Von Kurtz suggested they continue the evening elsewhere. I dropped them off at the Casanova and made up a migraine so I wouldn't have to stay. I had better things to do than sit around looking at sad, malnourished bodies.
Ah, my dear, if you could convince the great Mr. Greene to accept my invitation.
Not tonight, Mr. Grab it, my head's pounding. I wasn't a hotel thief, but I knew how to make friends. Oh, Klaus, I left some notes I need to type up in the gentleman's room. You're an angel, Klaus. I hadn't even started digging when my transgression paid off. The woman in the photo wasn't G's wife. I had my explanation for the stolen weekend. Rumors of his infidelity had been rampant in London, but this time the affair seemed serious.
Catherine, my love, your photo has a place of honor under my lamp, and I look at it like a schoolboy in love for the first time. Have I ever felt this way before? Those few days in paradise have left me longing.
Embarrassed by my indecent curiosity, I got back to the reason for my visit, to see if there was any truth to Bud Boot's allegations. The first notebook contained notes for the film. I was about to open the second one when I hit the lights and dove behind the curtains. If he was one of Boot's men, I'd never seen him before. He took his time, as if he wasn't worried about being caught. When the light hit his face, I recognized a photographer from the airport. He left after conducting an exhaustive search. He clearly hadn't found what he was looking for. That's when I realized that I was still holding the second notebook. Harpo.